Now, Lush has been in the news, of course, having angered police. This is the high street soap dispenser. Angered the police with an advertising campaign that seems to suggest that the police smell. They're going after other emergency services in the future in advertising campaigns. Reports are saying this morning the ambulance service, for instance, will be the next to come in for a kicking. The Stinking Shop has announced that it will feature pictures of paramedics next to the caption, "These people are crap, buy our soap." Let's go to the phone lines, 0800 756 1111. Dora's on the phone. Good afternoon. No, it's not. It's morning. Dora, hello.
Hello.
Hello, Dora. How are you?
Hello, John.
Hello, Dora.
I'm all right, thanks.
Very good. Nice to talk to you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Cowden. Do you know it, John?
Where?
Cowden.
A cow den?
A cow, not a, the Cowden. It's near Edenbridge.
Excellent. Right. Now,
God.
so Dora, this is interesting, isn't it? Because you've...
Oh, right, yes.
Well, I don't know whether it's interesting yet, but we'll find out. You've been following this Lush soap story from the news with some interest, haven't you? Because...
Yeah, well, yes.
Yes, because you...
Yeah, I've always...
Yes, because you've got experience of this.
Well, I've always loved the boys in blue. Ever since the first time they banged me up in 1954.
Right.
You have the right to remain silent. I don't think so, John.
No. Did you? Were you the opposite of that?
Very much so, John.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And when
it was used in evidence.
Yes. When they banged you,
passed it round the courtroom and said, "Look at that."
Sorry, I was just going to say, when they banged you in the slammer, was it? I mean, what was it? What was it for? What was it for?
Just for fun.
So
we had a few drinks and...
Yeah. So...
It's always difficult. Go on. We would have to move it on, and you can do it or I can do it.
Well, you do it.
Have you written something, John?
Not really.
Right.
I mean, I've just written here,
right.
Dora...
Sorry.
I've just written, Dora used to work in the soap industry. That's what I've written.
Right. Well, no.
I'll cross it out then.
You see, I used to work in, well, I suppose you would call it PR, John.
Ah.
But of course, in the old days, we had no such thing as PR. It was a much more innocent time, John. We just called it mind control.
Right.
And it's always difficult, isn't it, when a company tries to get behind a cause. I mean, do you remember the time Rumbelows did that campaign against chemical warfare?
I do recall that. Yes, their high street shop windows were quite...
That's right. Footage of mustard gas attacks from World War One.
Yeah.
And where are Rumbelows now? You see?
Yeah. And was that a mistake? Was that a mistake that Rumbelows did that then?
Well, they're not here, John.
Yeah.
Now, I worked
But hang on, the reason then, sorry, just for the history side of this, we should be clear. The reason Rumbelows isn't here anymore is because one of their window displays leaked the mustard gas, didn't it? And killed all of Rumbelows.
Well, in the old days, every television, it's all flat screens now, but in the old days, the cathode ray, it was a combination of a ray gun and mustard gas. And if you broke your television set, it would all leak out.
Right.
You'd have to run like the wind.
Yeah. It was a mistake, would you say, because I remember that campaign, and it was followed up, wasn't it, by Radio Rentals? Do you remember Radio Rentals, which was a similar setup? And was it right that Radio Rentals decided to reenact the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand? Which, of course, many led to the First World War, but on a sort of daily basis in the high street outside each of their branches, but with real guns.
And with a real employee every time.
That's right, dressed up. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they did some sort of market research, and awareness of radio rentals went through the roof. I mean, everyone. knew about radio rentals, but aversion to radio rentals went in much the same direction.
Yeah. And that's why we don't have radio rentals.
Radio rentals.
Rentals.
So I worked, John, for Humby Numby Wumbum, which was one of the first mind control agencies, as they were called them.
Yeah.
John.
Yes.
The things we used to get up to. Because you could do anything in those days. So we did a funny stunt for a tobacco company.
Yeah.
To encourage people. They realized there was a huge market potential if you could get people to get their pets smoking.
Right.
So we found a dog with no legs.
Yeah.
And taught it how to smoke. And the tagline was, take the dog out for a drag.
Yes, I remember. Yes. Yes.
And there was a stout brewery, and they wanted to sponsor. We did a brain surgery-a-thon in Trafalgar Square with surgeons having to down a pint between each procedure.
Yeah.
It was innocent times.
Innocent. Well, you could do that back then, couldn't you? And I mean, nobody complained. And I remember reading about this when the cigarette campaign you're talking about with the taking the dog for a drag, in order to get the dog to smoke. One, you'd glued. I think it was glue. Am I right?
The staple gun.
Right, staple gunned a cigarette into the dog's snout. Right, but you'd also created friction beneath the legless hound, hadn't you? By what was it you wiped on the bottom of the dog to drag it along the ground? It was a sort of flammable mixture, wasn't it? The friction of dragging it would smoke the dog, as it were, and you also put a banger up its bottom, which in those days was acceptable. It isn't anymore.
Innocent time. I mean, let's be very clear. None of these things could or should ever be done now, John.
No.
That's me covering you getting to do next week's show.
Yeah.
But in those days, of course, I mean, bonfire night, the joke of it now is that you're supposed to check the bonfires for hedgehogs. It's ridiculous. Because those things go off like a nail bomb, John.
I want to just bring this round to the back to the soap because people are talking about the Lush campaign, and I know you worked initially on the campaign for another well-known brand of soap that I won't name because it does still exist, but let's just say it's Dove. And is it right that you worked on an early campaign for the precursor to Dove, not Dove, to be legally clear, not Dove, right, but another brand of soap? Which did involve, pigeon soap. That's okay. You've said it. Okay, fine. All right, you've said it. Is it right that you pigeons smell disgusting, right? Like Lush does. Okay, and is it right that what you did on that campaign is you advertised, and this is why we have Dove soap now, is that you would rub a dove, which smells nice, onto a pigeon to wipe get the smell off the dove and onto the pigeon in order to make the pigeon smell better, so it could be just pulped and turned into soap.
Well, we did all sorts of stuff with wildfowl. We had a rubber duck campaign, which some people enjoyed too much. Yeah. And yes, you're right. Before Dove, when we had the pigeon account, we did a thing again in Trafalgar Square, where people could shoot them. The minute the pigeon took off, you'd shoot. And if any of the entrails or whatever got onto someone's face, we'd rush in with a Polaroid, take a picture, and say, nothing softens your skin like a pigeon.
And that's
we also won the contract to promote Omo soap powder.
Omo, yes.
Well, never mind, actually.
No. Best not. Let's just end on back to the high street as well, which is what people are talking about with this, because you were also in charge of the Woolworths accounts. And, of course, we don't have Woolworths anymore. But that's because, of course, Woolworths decided that their advertising campaign should be to create the Hindenburg disaster using with pick and mix sweets.
Well, we were trying to raise awareness of both the Hindenburg disaster and conflict in general. Now, in the pick and mix, there are those sort of jelly rings.
Jelly rings, yes.
You know the ones? They're sort of green and red.
Yes.
Now, we did a stunt whereby people could have pick and mix, but they had to take a jelly ring every time.
Yeah.
Now, one of them in each tray was connected to a hand grenade.
That's right.
And we got a lot of prayers.
You did well. There were a lot of people died, didn't they? In Woolworths, when if you're innocently pulling a jelly ring out to put in your bag of pick and mix, and one is connected to a hand grenade. Yes, you'll get the publicity, and you did.
Yep.
But it's not necessarily the right kind of publicity, is it? So
any publicity. No, that's not true.
It's not true at all. No
such thing as there is really bad publicity. I mean, you've only got to talk to the likes of. But again, I'm not going to say, John.
No. Dora,
you know who I was going to say.
Yes, I really do. Dora,
who was I going to say?
I'm not going to say who you're going to say. Why don't you say
who I was going to?
No, you say. You say.
If you know who I was going to say,
yes, but if you definitely know what you were going to say, why not just say it? Say it on the radio.
Does it sound a bit like a dog being choked?
Dora, thanks very much for calling in. It's been lovely to talk to you, Dora. Thank you.
Bye.
Dora there used to work in PR. An insight there into the whole world of it there. This is Lady Killer and Lush.